One of the most beneficial things I've done for myself in the past year is leveraging my subconscious mind because I was in a state of having brain fog pretty much 24/7 throughout a long period of my life, to be honest. And the brain fog made it feel like I was in a unconscious state, made it feel like I was on autopilot pretty much all day. Like I couldn't really form a conscious thought. I couldn't really be present in the moment. And it was impossible for me to really focus on what I had to get done in a day. And this was because I was on autopilot every single waking hour of the day. And as I've grown to overcome brain fog, as I've grown to be more and more focused and more hell bent on what I have in front of me because I have a clear sense of direction, because I understand clearly what I want out of life. I understand to the T what man I am trying to be congruent with, my goals that I have in my head. I built this visceral desire of who I want to be in the next 6 months from now, 12 months from now, 5 years from now. I match every single action I take on a daily basis with that man, from the way that I wake up in the morning, from the way that I brush my teeth, from the way that I go to sleep at night, from the way that I carry myself in conversations. I have this goal that I have in mind. So that's what allows me to stay focused and clear the brain fog. But one thing that I really leveraged over the past year within clearing the brain fog and actually staying focused is leveraging the subconscious mind, because I used to feel like that was my biggest disadvantage. The fact that I couldn't stay present in the moment, the fact that I felt like I was on autopilot. But the thing about the human brain is that 95% of your day you're going to be on autopilot. So instead of using that as my disadvantage, I flipped it around and I use it as my advantage, because your goals can never be as big as the systems that you have put in place to get you there. So I understood that everything in my life has to run on systems. And the good thing about systems and habits is that once you do it enough times, once you rep it out enough, it becomes such a concrete habit that you start to do it on autopilot, because your brain is not making the conscious decision if you do something for the first time compared to what you do it for the hundredth time over, right? And that very thing is what I understood I needed to leverage. So I'll give you an example of what I do for this. I Every single morning I've woken up for the past year and a half. I post this on my IG stories every single day, but I do push-ups in the morning. I have a specific morning routine that reflects on my goals. So I have a 4-step simple morning routine where I wake up, I make my bed as an act of discipline, as an act of, you know, I guess neatness, act of organization in my life, just to clear my brain. Like I think that a clear area like in my apartment right now, I'll show y'all, but everything is like organized to the T. I'll literally go like, you can see how specific I am about this. But like in my bedroom, literally looks like I haven't touched anything, but like I have to have everything like straightened out. Even my bathroom, like this is a little bit like everything just straightened out, right? And I understand how you do one thing is how you do everything. And that relates to not my personal life, not just how I treat myself around my apartment, not how I treat myself in my business, my personal life, the gym. Everything relates to each other. So that's an act of discipline. That's an act of congruency towards what I want to be. I make my bed. I hydrate myself, which reflects on my health goals. I do 50 push ups in the morning. Again, I post this on my IG story every single day. And that reflects on discipline. That reflects on increasing my heart rate a little bit in the morning just so I can get myself in that flow state. And next thing, and the most uncomfortable thing, I take a cold shower. In 90 seconds, I've increased to a 3-minute cold shower. And this thing, I'm telling you, like, if there's one bit of information that you apply from this video, you actually take away, take a cold shower in the morning, because how you use the subconscious mind. So these things that you do in a subconscious state reflects on how your subconscious perceives life, right? And what I mean by this is that if in a subconscious state I'm pushing myself towards discomfort, because everything that is good in life, at least for me, you might be different if you think that maybe smoking weed is good for you, if you think that hitting the clubs on the weekend is good for you, which I don't align with you if that's the case. But everything good for you is wrapped in pain. So I'm teaching my mind from the first waking moments of the day that I have to push myself through pain to experience pleasure. And how this reflects in my morning routine is that when I take that cold shower, all of these thoughts are running through my head. Like I literally have to help hype myself up every single morning, get myself into a state where I'm like, all right, I'm getting in the fucking cold shower. Like, fuck it, I'm just gonna hop in. Like every single morning, I'm telling myself that. Like, I'm literally standing outside the shower as it's going. I'm like kind of touching it a little bit. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do it to this morning. I don't want to do it. But every single time after I hit that cold shower, bro, my energy is off the fucking roof. Like, I'm so amped up. I'm so hyped up. I get so much dopamine from it. I'm like fucking bouncing off the wall, even if it's 4 a.m., even if it's 6 a.m., which I'm waking up at 6 a.m. right now. But the point is that everything is wrapped in pain, and inside that pain is pleasure. Pause. But if you're doing that in a subconscious state, because I just talked about, I do this morning routine every single morning for the past year and a half, my brain recognizes this as autopilot. My brain recognizes the little things that are good for me, that are wrapped in pain, that are I don't want to do in the morning. Because quite honestly, there hasn't been a single morning in the past like 6 months where I've wanted to wake up off the first alarm. Like I even catch myself sleeping in a couple times, but it's the act of pushing myself towards that discomfort and doing something I don't want to do in the start of my day that allows me to have that mental focus. It allows me to have, to understand from a subconscious state that I can't get the things that I want in this life if it's just immediately pleasure. I have to go through some sort of pain initially. And that's what I struggle with when I was in a autopilot and subconscious state when I had brain fog, is that my brain was programmed to look for the ways I could comfort myself, look for the easiest things that I could do, such as scrolling on my phone when I felt like I was getting anxious, when I felt like I was getting stressed, when I felt like I was bored. I would scroll on my phone. I would entertain vices like going out to the clubs with my boys, going out to parties, drinking alcohol, entertaining porn, entertaining masturbation. All the things that didn't align with my higher self, that didn't align with the person that I wanted to be 5 years down the line. And it all starts from a subconscious state, because it's not a matter of, okay, I'm trying to motivate myself today, like today's gonna be a good day, like today I'm gonna kill it. Like it's not a matter of motivation, but more it's a matter of reprogramming your subconscious mind. Because again, everything that you do happens on a subconscious level. Maybe you like wandered onto this video, maybe it intrigued you, and it triggered your conscious decision making, which decision making is a whole other thing that I'm about to get into. But maybe it like triggered your conscious decision making. You're like, hold on, I want to click on this video, I want to learn more about this. And then maybe you're just like subconsciously just watching this right now. Maybe you're not fully locked into this right now. And that is your conscious mind. Like another example is that when you're taking a 30-minute drive on the highway, you can only recall the past 5 minutes. Why? Because you are in a subconscious state. So everything you do runs on a subconscious state. And the problem with brain fog is that you feel like you're in a subconscious state 24/7. So the best thing you can do is leverage the fact that you do have the brain fog, leverage the fact that you do feel like you're on autopilot, and use it for you instead of against you. Use it for the things that you don't want to do. Use it for the things like your morning routine, like your evening routine, like your workout. And another thing with the decision fatigue, right? So again, like I was saying throughout the entire portion of this video, is that a lot of things that you do will happen on a subconscious level. So I'd say about 95% of the things that you do are subconsciously, which means that your brain rarely uses the conscious like decision making. And if you feel like you struggle to make the right decision, if you feel like you struggle to stay sharp in conversations, maybe during a test, maybe during, you're working towards starting a certain business, but because you operate from the subconscious mind, I'd say pretty much 95% of the time, you want to save the conscious decision making for the things that you actually care about. And example for this, like maybe you want to start a business and you have to put your time and energy into researching how to learn this skill, or how to start up, making the back end or the product of your business. Or maybe you have a test or exam that you need to study for, and you're in college right now. Or maybe you have a current business that you're taking sales calls for, and you want to stay sharp on those sales calls. You save the conscious decision making for those times. And there's a thing called decision fatigue, where you take so many conscious decisions at a time that it kind of stunts your action. It kind of makes you lead toward the wrong decision, because you can't really fully be present in the right decisions, or not the right decisions, but like the time where you have to make the right decisions. And I'll give you an example for what I mean by this. Every single night, I lay out the clothes that I'm wearing tomorrow to the gym, or just for my work day tomorrow. So I don't have to think in the morning consciously what I have to wear. I just do it. I just simply just act. And that's leveraging my subconscious mind in the morning. Of course, I'm still making the decision, but I'm weighing it off from the morning instead to the night prior. So I don't have to think about it at all in the morning. Like I literally just have everything set out for myself, and I just act in the morning. I don't think at all in the morning. I just act. And that's how you save, the conscious decision making towards the things that you actually have to do in your day. So I hope you understand the gist of this video. I hope you understand that instead of thinking of, feeling like you're on autopilot is a bad thing for you, you can turn it into a good thing and turn it into a thing that actually makes you progress a lot faster. Because I promise, habits and routines are everything. You cannot have a big goal without a big system that helps you get to that goal and maximize the inputs, such as if your goal is trying to lose 30 pounds, you have to, maximize the time that, I wouldn't say you spend in the gym, but, hitting the gym goals that you have. I'd say 45 minutes a day is pretty good for maybe 4 or 5 days out of the week. You don't have to overtrain like crazy. You have to hit your macros, like things like that. Those are the inputs that you can control that help you get towards the goal. So I hope you got some value off this video. If you did, I'd appreciate a like and a subscribe. And if you want to talk with me one-on-one, how we can implement specific solutions towards your exact situation, then I have a book a call link in the description of this video, and we can get on a call together to talk further. But other than that, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.